I'm not even going to try to lift this stack up. Not even going to try. Hi BookTube, it's Stephanie. So, a little bit of a different angle, mostly because of the fact that I finally replaced my tripod. And this is definitely just filmed instead of what I need to film, because I'm procrastinating. But I'm filming my December book haul. That took a long time, but whatever. So yeah, I actually don't remember where some of these things come from, because I just don't. So I'm going to start with a book that I've heard a lot of people talk about. It has been a while since I heard anyone talk about it, but a lot of people recommended it and really liked it, and that is War Girls by Tochi Onyebuchi. And obviously I have another book, well obviously that depends on if you remember or even watched that video, but I do also have the book Beats of Night. So what this book is about is that it's set around 150 years in the future, and it's also set in Nigeria, and after climate crisis and things like that, there is where the two sisters that we're following, there's a lot of political unrest. Yeah, they are dreaming about a better life, and they want to, yeah, they are pulled into a war, and they're prepared to sacrifice a lot of things, and they are biomechanics and things like that. So I am definitely looking forward to this. So yeah, we'll see when I get to it. As with everything, at least you will be able to see the books more easily in this. Okay, the next one, this is a classic, and this one I definitely picked up because more and more people were picking it up, and I'm actually not really sure what it's about, except mining, and that you should not read any of the newer books because they're just cash grabs by the artist's descendants. And that's Dune by Frank Herbert. Yeah, this is one of the very first classic in science fiction, and a lot of people have read it. I haven't heard too many things that are like sexist or things like that in it, as I've heard with some other one of them. But yeah, so we'll see when I get to this one, because it's chunky and I'm still trying to get used to science fiction. And this is the Swedish translation, by the way. So yeah. And then I have a manga, and that is The Hero is Overpowered but Overly Cautious, Volume 2 by Light Tuccini and art by Koyoki. Now, this is the sequel to the first one. So this takes place in a world kind of in which gods and goddesses are basically tasked with saving a world, and this goddess gets tasked with saving an S-ranked world, and she picks someone that she thinks has really good stats, but he's overly cautious. This is the sequel to the first one. I like this one. Did I like it more? I would say that it's in between. I like this one the same as I like the first one. I think they're good, and I probably will try the third volume as well to see what I really think about them. But the third volume have not really been translated or been announced or anything, because this one started as a light novel, and it could be that they are not being sold as well as they should to be able to continue. But yeah, I still like this, but yeah. And since I mentioned light novels, let's continue. We have High School Prodigies Have It Easy Even in Another World, #1 by Riko Misora. This is about kids in high school. In this case, they are geniuses, and they are entering there was some kind of accident and they nearly die, and when they wake up they end up in this fantasy world, and they basically try to change it so that they try to get home, but they also try to change to like things with sewers and things like that. I don't really know, but we'll see. And yes, it's a trope that I like and I just need to read them. The next one is a verse novel, I think it is, but it's Lanny by Max Porter. He's the same person who wrote Grief is the Thing with Feathers, that got a lot of hype several years ago, and I still need to read that. This one really intrigued me when I heard about it and read what it was about. This is the Swedish translation, and they haven't really put something on the back of what this is about. I've heard that some people think that it's slightly creepy, but I don't really want to look up what it's about more, because I want to go into this pretty blind. So the next one I have here is kind of a mixture between a dystopian and a urban fantasy, and that is Year One by Nora Roberts. This takes place in a world where a plague. You never really thought about how many books contains plague, and I have at least one more here. But yeah, there's a plague and millions or billions die. Yeah, as billions fall sick and die, some survivors discover strange and wonderful new powers. So it's about them that survives. And they are, after a while, being rounded up for testing. So the main characters that we are following tries to escape to get to a safe haven where they will not be experimented on. So this is Witch Sign by Dan Patrick, and this is a fantasy that takes place in a world where 75 years ago the rule of dragons was ended and a new empire was born. However, they decided to ban all magic, but children are still born with these signs of magic, and they are rounded up and whisked away. And this takes place when a man, or maybe a boy, I actually don't know, but he is scared for his sister because she has always been different, so he fears that they will take her away. He wants to protect her. This one has been on my TBR since I first saw it, so we are talking like 4 or 5 years. Okay, that was way over the top. 2018, wow. This year has really screwed with everyone's thought processes. So the next book I have here is The Ninth Reign by Jen Williams. This takes place in a world that, well, we are following a man called Tomalin, and the city where he used to live, the city of Ebora, used to be this wonderful, beautiful city. Now wolves are stalking the street and the whole country is falling apart, and he basically couldn't care less. And then there is a lady who offers him employment so that he thinks, oh yeah, great, I can get out. And they are then joined by a witch and some other person, and they are basically adventurers, but they are people who don't want the country to fall, and conspiracy, things like that. It actually sounds like a classic either role-playing game in which you have this crew of different classes and then you go out and finish missions. But yeah, this one, I was reminded about this book from, oh, I don't remember who it was. This one was put back on my radar because, again, a book that I've been interested in, I think about the same time as Witch Sign, but just never picked up. Oh, and by the way, the theme for this entire book haul, except for the Illumicrate books, is things that I've had on tabs for ages on my computer. and then just decided to cleanse some of them off. So I was like, well, buy some and don't buy some. As in, just remove them, don't remember that we have them. The next book is a sci-fi with a pretty ambiguous synopsis, and that is Virtues of War by Bennett R. Coles. This is, we are following Lieutenant Katja MS, whatever, who is tasked by investigating a weapons smuggling incident or rumors about weapon smuggling, and it's about if these colonies will rebel and when they do, but it's very rapid and the Terran forces were completely taken off guard by it, and they are pulled into this war that they kind of have to win. Yeah, it's very ambiguous. So the next one is, it's a zombie book, so another plague book, and I'm actually kind of being like, why am I buying this? And I think it was because I was intrigued by a sequel in this series, and this is the first book. So yeah, so this is Under a Graveyard Sky by Jon Ringo. Yeah, the zombie apocalypse comes and the Smith family have bought a sailboat and flees to the Atlantic, in which they joins up with other ships, and they, on these ships, they are basically keeping a guard, killing zombies, and things happen because you have a group of people who don't know each other that just thrown into one group. Yeah, I definitely was more intrigued by a sequel, but first book, we'll see what I think about it. It's pretty long, but like, it's all, well, with the teaser, and I never read teasers, it's 500 pages, but yeah, it's pretty floppy. It has this, I should not have read this, because in the description on the webpage where I bought this, it did not have this last sentence in, and if I had read that in a store, I would not have purchased this book. That's how much it annoys me. And that is, with every continent a holocaust, and every ship an abattoir. Have no idea how to pronounce that. Life is lived under a graveyard sky. I hate when the title of a book is used like that in the synopsis. I despise it. It's one thing if it said Under a Graveyard Sky, blah blah blah, where every continent is a holocaust and every ship is an abattoir. So if they had changed it, I would not have minded, but yeah, I would not have purchased it just for that. And then we have Illumicrate, and this is 4 books. Because both the November box and the December box had 2 books each in it. So yeah, I'm going to start with the November box, so if you have not gotten yours yet, don't watch this part. So the first book that we got, which was the extra book, was one that I was actually going to purchase, signed from Owlcrate, and that is Legionborn by Tracy Deonn. Now, the main reason why I'm intrigued by this one is the cover, and also because the ice and fire aspect of this, it reminded me of, and I will butcher his name, Shoto from My Hero Academia, because he's half and half. But yeah, this takes place in a world where a society are hunting down monsters. I'm not gonna read more on the back, but this one got a lot of hype and a lot of people have really liked this book, so I'm really looking forward to it. And as I said, I was going to buy this. It might fall again, we'll see. And the next book that we got in that one, I don't want to cover up War Girls, but apparently I have to. I tilted it. Let's hope that it actually stays, otherwise I will just need to put it somewhere else. The other book that we got in November was The Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Harrow. This is a standalone fantasy, contemporary kind of things, another urban fantasy. This takes place in the late 1900s. I need to, in Swedish we say it in a different order, but yeah, so what we are following is a group of women who are suffragettes, and they might bring back magic because there is no magic anymore. There used to be. Yeah, this was one of those books. Would I have gotten it or not? I'm actually unsure. I did figure out that this was the book. As I said, I don't know if I would have picked it up. It was more like when I figured this one out, I was like, oh yeah, I can get that. Like I didn't mind it, but I'm not sure that I would have gotten this one or not. So undecisive, but I definitely don't mind that I do have it, except for the fact that it's 500 pages. That and the fact that I have actually not read any of my subscription books last year. And then we have December's Illumicrate. So if you don't want to know what your December box contains, don't watch this part. And the first one is The Cousins by Karen M. McManus. This is a YA thriller in which we're following 3 cousins who gets invited by their grandmother to her home after she 20 years earlier or something like that disowned all her children and just said, you know what you did. So it's a YA mystery thriller. I would not have picked this up. I'm just going to put it out there. I think the cover is gorgeous. I love the black spread edges. But this is, first of all, it's a thriller. Like, I don't read this kind of book. I might love it, and since it's YA, it might go fast, and it's not too long. But yeah, I would not have picked this up. That one also looks like it might fall down. And then the last one, which is the main book for December, is The Ravens by Morgan Page. And, oh, Morgan Page. Wow. The Ravens by Cass Morgan and Daniel Page. Thank you. This is another one of like urban fantasy in which there is this sorority that they only accept fellow witches. The story starts when we have one person who wants to become president. I don't know the terms for US sororities. And a new person is coming in and doesn't like her, I think. But someone has figured out what this sorority is about, that they are witches. So it's slightly a mystery about that. This one actually fits in the same boat as Once and Future Witches. Once I figured it out, and I did, I was like, oh, okay, I can get that. So I don't really, would I have picked it up? Maybe I would just have picked it up from the library. But yeah, a sorority, witches, today's world might be fun. But yeah, I don't know if I would have picked this up, but I'm not mad that I have it. Except for the fact that it's another subscription book that I have not read. There we go. Now that one is visible without the threat of everything falling down. So yeah, those are all the books that I got in December. No comment, please. But yeah. I actually had a pretty good reading month in December, so I'm not too mad about that. But I mean, for books from Illumicrate, thanks. I knew that the December one would be 2 books, but I didn't know that November was also 2 books. But yeah, we'll see what happens. And Now I need to go back to actually filming the video that I was supposed to film. I don't want to, because it's scary. Oh, maybe I can do laundry first. That would be brilliant. Did you get any books? Oh no! I have one more book. Oh crap. Why did I have to remember this one? Why? At least I didn't buy it myself. This was a Christmas present, and that's the Recipes from the World of Tolkien by Robert Tusley Anderson. It's a cookbook inspired by Lord of the Rings trilogy, and also she got this one for free, so she added it in, and I read that, so great. Yeah, I requested this. I gave her a list of books that I would like to have, so I'm not mad. It's just another book that I need to add. But yeah, I think I need to try some of them before I can rate it, but I definitely will look through it, and I am excited for it. Otherwise I would not have asked her to buy it for me, or I wouldn't have wished it for Christmas as Christmas present. But yeah, I'm just so mad that I didn't remember this from the get-go. But whatever. Yeah, I have a recipe book as well. Okay, it doesn't matter that it's almost supposed to fall down, because I'm done. I'm finally done. I have not bought any more books this year. See you next month. Will I buy more books? It's a fool's bet, but yeah. Did you get any books in December? If so, please tell me down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.